Welcome to jobskillshare.org real world scenario. In this scenario, I will show you guys sometimes you have to work on um, attacks on the sites. So, it depends. You might be using like a WordPress site, you might be using a normal web server running inside of your company, and maybe that's running a web server on like IIS server or Apache server or some type of web server, and it gets attacked by um, whoever it is. And then this is one example of an attack where um, it shows different IP addresses right here. So it's really not easy to just block one IP address. Then what do you do? There are different ways. There are smart systems. They detect if the activity is like non-stop, everything is just going crazy. It's not like a normal activity. Then it will block that, start blocking the IP addresses from different methods. So uh, in this case, I'm using WordPress. As you can see, there's a tag going on this site, and the IP address is not the same. But there's one thing that's the same, and that's the host. So that gives you some kind of idea that it's coming from one host or maybe two, but the IP addresses are not changed. So then, how do you block this? Now this is a real world scenario. In this, we kind of show people that this is the type of things you might be working on. So we don't go in details of installations of firewalls and all that. That's everything is done in the courses. So if you go to jobskillshare.org, you can take one of our courses like help desk and network administration and some security. We don't have full security courses right now, but then you can still use it for like a network admins. um, in this case, we have a firewall on this site that does a lot of scanning. So right now, this is a live scan. As you guys can see, all of the top ones are just attacks and different IP address, different IP address. This is one, the same one. So it continuously do it. It basically is doing that. So how do you block this type of attack? Because it's trying to register, it tries to create a group, it's trying to do a lot of things right here. So to do that, what we need to do is to it depends of what type of firewall, what type of blocking systems do you use. You probably would call your ISP, or maybe you have your own firewall in place, or maybe you have web firewalls going on. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. Like for example, in this method, you can say block this network, and you can just block this whole network. Or you can say block this IP address. You can also do that, and it will block this IP. You can even click on this, and it'll just block it for future use. It won't be able to access the site again unless we turn it on. But there's other ways too. I mean, this could be only two, but because IP address change, you could also block the whole network by host. So now here in this case, we have, let's say for example, this is the one right here. So right now it's giving you browser and not much information. So let's see. She's still trying to do the text. So here's a good scenario right here that it's trying to attack. The whole site is being attacked, and you can see the host right here is this. So a lot of IP addresses are coming from this. So one way you could do is not, since these IP addresses are getting basically they're blocked, but they're getting locked out too. So the easy way, because there's so much traffic going on that you don't want to block something like real IP address. So what you would like to do in this case, we can go back and go to all lockouts. So in this will give you a little bit better um, you know um, data here, because you see right here all these are locked out. Now, one way you can make sure that you can just log this is to kind of go over these IP addresses, because that they could be generating the same IP address again and again. So you could just say it's locked, so you can just block it right here. Click on block, and right now it's blocked. And you can just go over all of it, block, block, and block. So at least these IP addresses won't get used again. But the best way would be to just get this host. So you get that, copy it, and then go to your settings. In my settings, it's basically advanced blocking in this site, and basically you go here and you can see right here in just few last minutes when I put this host that block anything coming from this host, there's 285 block hits. Um, Recently there was another one that's this one, and it has 618 block hits. So what you want to do is you could do it by a lot of different ways. So you could say, you know what, I want to block everything from this host at this point. And reason is attack. Oops, attack. And you can also put some more things in there like user. Now this could be, because if you put like the whole browser agent that the person is using, somebody else could be using the same browser agent and they might also get blocked. So it's kind of tricky. But you can also make one pattern. So you can put the host name in there, put the browser, and then you can just block it that way. Another way is to, now we already have the IP addresses that we want to block. You can actually, you can go back to the advanced settings, actually live traffic, sorry. So you can go to live traffic and you see the lockout IP addresses right here, which is 192. So you can, the other way is to kind of really block it from even getting to this site. You can go back to another firewall. That could be your main firewall. That it could be your network firewall. Not like on the site level, because there's different type of site could have its own firewall. Like for example, WordPress have its own firewall, and then your hosting company should have its own firewall. So you could go to your hosting company. I'm using another one like SiteGround. So you can just paste the IP address here. If you copy paste it, then you make sure that you hit back and it'll check. So now that IP address is just blocked from right, like it won't even get to my site. It's just gonna get blocked right from the host. And it's probably a better way to block, but it's not easy to block it that way. You have to either do a range. They don't have like a host system here. I wanted to put that. That would have been easy, but then you just want to go at least those IP addresses. If they keep trying with that same IP addresses, it will get blocked and they won't do it. This was just a real world scenario though. I mean, I don't want to like, make it a full video of like, confuse people. So again, the whole purpose of this video is that you as an IT purpose, you as an IT person, you will also be working on things like this, working on different type of firewalls, web filtering things. It doesn't matter. It could be from people from outside. It could be people internally doing something. It could be their computer might be compromised by someone else and they're doing things internally, and then you do these kind of things. So just think of it in a different scenarios that you could be working on firewalls doing this stuff on a real world job in IT. Thank you for watching this video. This was a real world scenario from jobskillshare.org. See you guys in a different video.